I don't trust government to tell us
Okay.
about where things are made and who's making them.
If there isn't accountability on the part of industry, then there won't be any effort on the part of industry. Industry exists to create profits and to create capital and to create money.
I'm willing to be accountable personally. I would incur more costs for the environment. I would have meters on my electricity. I would monitor my consumption. I would be willing to do those things, but I also want to have the corporations be accountable.
Can you trust the businesses to actually do what they're supposed to do? We've had a lot of information thrown at us where businesses are not actually doing, they're not accountable at all.
I was just going to say that I think a lot of people are jaded, and just in terms of sitting here and just being like, I'm tired of thinking about all these things that I can't fix, so I'm just going to live my life and forget about creating this perfect world for my kids,
These changes that need to get made are huge. They affect many different layers of society, and I think we need to look beyond just individual people making individual decisions. This is a social problem, or there's social issues involved, and there has to be a sense of social responsibility.
I feel very strongly about civil engagement, and everyone has to take responsibility. It's not our government only.
Sustainability, I think just the word is an abstraction, and abstractions don't motivate people. Abstractions mean absolutely nothing to people. Secondly, I think also because our definition of sustainability involves future generations, the what's in it for me factor is completely and utterly absent.
We've got a nice definition up there, but I personally have no sense of scale of how far away from sustainability we are as a society, let's say, or as a planet. And then more so, let's say in Vancouver, I suspect that there's some places, for example, let's say water, where we actually may be reasonably close to sustainability, but there may be other sectors, such as carbon dioxide emissions, where we need to reduce our emissions of 60% of what they currently are.
We've experienced today that a small amount of people, if they're willing to take a stand, can make a difference. The trouble is we don't. And I think that's what I'm taking away from today, is how do we individually and as a group of people in the society motivate ourselves to truly wanting to make a difference.
A lot of times you do feel discouraged and you feel like you're the only one. And it was very comforting to me as an individual to come and find out that there are so many of you who share the same concerns and values.
People seem willing to spend some more money to improve the environment. And for me, I've always thought, oh yeah, people are talking, they're talking, but like what I've learned here was that people were actually willing to spend some money to improve the environment and so forth.
Every little bit helps. Like before I was thinking it has to be some grand thing in order to sort of change things, but I sort of realized that you can do the littlest things and make a small change. It's not gonna happen like overnight. We're not gonna have an amazing environment like tomorrow, but we can make those little changes every day, and it will sort of have a snowball effect into a bigger change over time.
I've really changed my mind, and it's because of community, the people here, that I really see there is something I have to really think about, because there are people here and I can make a difference, and it is BS if I can't do anything. So you are right.
As for decision making, I think we need to demand that our government spends the tax dollars that we give them better, that they choose environmental choices, and that they help us choose environmental choices. And as individuals, we need to get more involved, and we need to question the practices of businesses and government.
I've certainly learned that public discourse is an effective means of sharing ideas across culture, across incomes, and across occupations.
You are wasting a huge resource by not including meaningful public participation in the decision-making that goes on. First of all, you could probably find out a lot of things you would never have thought about in the context in which you operate. And second of all, especially if you're political, people are going to like you a whole lot more.
Our representatives, our elected representatives, I would ask them to engage in dialogue and stop the debate. I would also encourage our utilities and our companies to engage in dialogue with their consumers, and I would also invite the rest of us to engage in dialogue with ourselves and with each other to continue to move things forward.
An individual can do certain things, where government can do certain things, and the industry can do certain things, but together, we can work together, and the integrated moves using a multifaceted integrated approach, including all parties, will end up getting away from the us versus them mentality. It's not us versus them, it's us, period.